Hello and welcome to my channel, which now has 200 subscribers! This is a very big milestone, to say the least, so to celebrate let's have our first Q&A. I'm gonna eat jelly beans while I do this. I was considering wearing makeup because I look like death if you can hear me over the sound of the crunching plastic. But then decided, fuck beauty standards, am I right kid? Like some sort of cantaloupe, I think. On to the questions. I asked on my Instagram and also my Twitter, fuck Twitter for not giving me any questions, but Instagram proved very fruitful, so let's get on with it, shall we? What's your writing process? I don't have one specifically. Like, something that people always ask is like, how do you write songs? Is there like a specific way to do it, a specific process? The answer is no. Most of the time I'll be sitting somewhere like on a bus. Buses really inspire me actually, like transport in general. Weird thing to be inspired by. Though I do know Maisie Peters, link, picture, Maisie Peters here, is also inspired by buses and transport, so maybe that's just a thing that people are inspired by, I don't know. Often I'll get sort of lyrics, phrases in my head and then I'll pop it down in the old notes, which is definitely something that most writing people do. And from there it sort of either goes somewhere or goes nowhere. Most likely nowhere, but sometimes somewhere, which isn't really a helpful description, but there you go. Often I'll be coming home and I'll be on a bus or something and I'll just see a sign and I'll be like, whoa, cool phrase, cool lyrics, let's write that down, and then it blossoms into a song. What do you want to do in the future? Cherry emoji. I have no clue. Okay, so here was the old plan. When I was in year 5, I wanted to be an author. My parents told me that at some point before that I wanted to be a journalist, though I have no recollection of that whatsoever. My current plan is to do everything. I want to do everything I possibly can. That is including, but not limited to, being a musician, being a singer, making films, writing books, making art. I just want to do everything I possibly can before I get put into the ground, and that's a really morbid way of describing death. Tell me why ain't nothing but a heartache. What's your favourite original song that you've written? True Romance has a very special place in my heart because it was based off my favourite TV show of all time, The End of the Fucking World. It's beyond beautiful. The reason why True Romance came about is because I finished watching The End of the Fucking World and I was so numb for like 2 days straight, and it was such a weird feeling, and no TV show or anything had ever made me feel that way before. And then at the end of those 2 days a song came out of it. I just sort of sat down with a guitar, which at that time I wasn't used to at all. I'm still not very used to it, but I'm getting better. But it was just so weird to sort of have music and feelings come out of me like that for a situation that wasn't my own either. In case I've never talked about it before, True Romance is written from Alyssa's perspective. The artist also has a very special place for me, possibly because it was the first song I ever performed live, but also because I put a lot of work into it, and also the video for it is very special to me because everyone else put a lot of work into it as well. Thank you so much again if you put drawings or anything into that. But once again my emotions sort of spilled out for that one, and it was just really nice to sort of get my feelings out and just let things go. And weirdly enough, that was another song not written about my situation but about a friend, kind of. The artist in question was written based off my friend Lola. I don't think she experienced many of those feelings in the song. I don't know, Lola, let people know in the comments if you're watching this. What's the most important thing you've learnt through YouTube? I have learnt a lot through YouTube actually, which is very strange because I didn't think I'd really learn lessons from it in the beginning. When you think of starting YouTube and being a YouTuber, it's not really your first thought to be like, oh, I'm gonna learn some really important life lessons in this one. But I have. I mean, I think the top lesson is don't compare yourself to other people, because what you see isn't what there is, if that makes sense. What I try to remind myself is there's always going to be someone better than you. Like, full stop, that's just something you have to accept in life, but you have to sort of guide yourself to make yourself better, and one day you'll be there. You just have to sort of live with it. Favourite subject? Back in the old days. Back in the old GCSE days. Remember GCSE Celeste? I sure don't. I really liked GCSE art. That was good. I mean, God, stressful as all hell. I would never do it again in my entire life. Ever. If you're doing GCSE art. I'm sorry. Right now, I think it would probably be photography. I do film, media and photography, if I haven't said that enough on this channel yet. But I really like photography because it's really open-ended, I don't know, and I get to do a lot of what I love as well. The Jonas Boys are back! What's your favourite song? Look, all of you Burning Up fangirls can get back in line, because SOS is the Jonas Brothers' ultimate banger. When I was 7, with my little Walkman, I was busting that tune out 5 times a day. It never stopped. My mum got sick of it, my dad got sick of it, my cats got sick of it. SOS is the ultimate 2-minute banger that nobody wanted, but we all deserved. Most embarrassing memory. Where do I begin? I was 12 and my grandma had just died. This isn't a really funny start to a story, but we were having the wake. It was close to Christmas. Nobody was feeling happy at all. But as you do in a wake, you have to eat some food. You gotta sort of eat out the sorrow. That doesn't sound good. So I went to get my food, and when I came back to the table, my family were gone. But on the table, they'd left a single glass of Coca-Cola, and I was parched. So I was like, wow, how kind, how thoughtful, how generous of my family to get that for me. And I reached out, and I took a big swig of what turned out to be vodka and unnamed fizzy beverage. This was my first sip of hard liquor. Is vodka? Vodka is hard liquor, I'm sorry. Vodka's hard liquor when you're 12, at least. I was dizzy, I was all over the place. How lightweight was I to be getting that bad? I wasn't even drunk, I was just bad. I was in a state. I had to be taken outside. That's how bad it got. Like, it was ridiculously ridiculous. What's your favourite colour and pizza topping? My favourite pizza topping is spice. Hear me out. I am a chilli fiend. I will eat anything as long as it gives me some sort of spice high. Isn't spice like a fake weed drug? Fake weed drug. I'm down with the kids. I'm partial to a pepper every now and then. I'm not against the idea, but if you're gonna ask me about pineapple on pizza, the answer is a big fat no. As for favourite colour, I think it has to be blue and yellow. The colours of our mighty overlord, IKEA. Rate Asa on a scale of 1 to 10 spaghettis. You are 15 spaghettis worth, Asa. What has been your favourite song to perform? And also, where is the scariest place you have performed in front of people? I think the answer has to be performing The Artist at Summer in the City 2018. I love knowing what the years are. Purely because it was my first ever performance properly that wasn't in a school choir or some sort of school musical. It was nerve-wracking, and also I'd been preparing for weeks for it. It was ridiculous. I was just so like, okay, we need to get this perfect, and I just would perform, I would practice night after night after night after night. It was insane, and then I didn't realise that it was just one song. It was a 5-minute set, and I'd prepared what, like 4 songs, but it couldn't have turned out better. I couldn't have had a more supportive and lovely audience. Sorry, Emblemus, but Sitzy, you take the cake. And it sort of just set off a sort of ingrained love of performing, which I think is important if I want to be a musician, really. When did you start singing? My mum says that I didn't have a first word, or at least she can't remember it. Kidding, I'm sure she can. Instead of having a first word, apparently I started singing Twinkle Twinkle Little Star in the Bath, which I think is a little bit advanced for a 1-year-old, I don't know, baby times, but I love singing. I've always loved singing. When I was little, I wanted to be a singer, and that my chief ambition was to go on X Factor and win it, until I don't know, someone told me how badly pop stars were treated. I think based off Britney Spears' treatment. This was like 2007, so I think everyone was feeling a bit sorry for pop stars. I've always sort of had a love for singing, even though I do have stage fright. And was forced during primary school to sing in front of people a lot, which I think sort of stopped me further from chasing music. But I also discovered ukulele when I was 10? No, it's been 9 years. So when I was... how old am I? I'm going to be 17 this year. So when I was 8, I discovered the ukulele, started playing at 8. 9 years later, it's my best friend and I sing with it everywhere I go. Yo queen! When is your tour and when are you coming to Finland? Ooh woo! Thank you very much. That was my friend, by the way. I will admit, I have been looking into studio recordings and making singles because studios are expensive, producers are expensive, but if I can learn to produce on my own and sort of gather up enough funds to make a single, that would be pretty cool. But tour, I think we're going to hold off on that one for a few years. Which musical instrument do you wish you could play? I have a bone to pick with Year 6 me. Back in Year 6, SATs had begun and I thought I was peak stressed. Little did I know that Year 11 was coming at some point during my future. So I decided that having my grade 1 piano exam and my SATs at the same time was just too stressful and I wasn't really enjoying piano. So I decided to quit. Flash forward to 17-year-old Celeste, who wants to write piano music and has forgotten how to play the piano, but has a keyboard. I got a keyboard like, oh yeah, the summer after Year 11, I'm gonna be on that ball, I'm gonna be learning all the chords. I just don't handle stress well. I think that's just the moral of this story. Apart from piano, I think an instrument I've never played before, I want to play the violin. Violin seems so cool, like imagine just busting out those tunes. What's the, Lindsay Sterling. Look, I want to be Lindsay Sterling, I want to bust out some violin tunes. How are we going to fix the environment? There are many things that you can do, such as cutting down on meat, which I'm trying very hard at. Very hard. You can use public transport or use a carpool if you live in sort of more rural areas, or America where everywhere is just roads. You can recycle. There are recycling plants. You can reuse things. You can compost. Is that a verb? You can put things in your compost and fertilise them to grow. Strangest thing you've eaten. I was talking about this today because I had to have a good think about it. I went to Yo Sushi and who's to say that I can't have sparkling water instead of still water? They're the same price, it's a free country. And I hate sparkling water, so I was like, how can I make this worse for myself? The answer was, fill your glass half full with sparkling water. Step 1, achieved. Step 2, put some soy sauce in it. Step 3, look at the pickled ginger and think, Step 4, put the pickled ginger in this awful mix. How can we make this worse in any way? The answer was, put some wasabi in there, and not like a little bit of wasabi. Put a good amount of wasabi in there. This shit was bubbling. That was a potion. That wasn't even like a drink anymore, or food. I don't even know what to call it. It was disgusting, but yet also my finest hour. Funny things you thought when you were younger. I was a stupid child. I'm just gonna put that out there first. Whenever me and my mum used to go to Starbucks when I was little, I used to want to be like her. I want to be grown up and have my own frothy cup of coffee. But coffee contains this little thing called caffeine, which isn't great for a child, let alone a really hyperactive child, which I still am. So my mum got me this little thing called a baby chino. It's just frothy milk, and I think Starbucks still do them if you're a baby watching this and you think, God, gotta get me some of that. What's this stuff called on top? What's the frothy stuff? The frothy stuff, obviously, what's like the milk? I don't know. And I was like, that's froth. But let's remember, I was stupid, so I heard froth. Until I was at an age where I was old enough to know that it was not called froth. I was still calling it froth, until my mum was like, sorry, what did you just call it? And that's the story of how I realised that for about 5 years I've been calling it froth instead of froth. Favourite 1970s song and why? Heart. I put your mother through hell, don't you mind? I heard your brother as well, don't you mind, don't you mind? Oh, I was thinking about killing myself, don't you mind? And I love you, don't you mind, don't you mind? The first time I heard Me by the 1975, as you may have guessed, I don't know, something just really struck a chord with me. I also love Ballad of Me in My Brain a lot, and it's sort of like my really pep me up song, but I don't know, it just gets me in a mood, you know? Me is just such a beautiful, beautiful song, and like the beginning and the like dun, 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 that is so beautiful. Like, how did they think of that? Do you ever just listen to a song and be like, how the fuck did they think of that? Like, I wish I'd thought of that. Do you have musicians / artists in your family? Do you think that contributed to your abilities? I think I'm the first, I say that very hesitantly, I think I'm the first musician in my family. I do know my mum played piano when she was younger, but I don't think anyone in my family have really pursued music as a career. One thing that does run in my family, however, not to toot all of our horns at the same time, painting and art, I think that is definitely something, particularly on my dad's side, which sort of is very prevalent. Like my grandma, pretty much all of my aunts, my dad's very good at drawing, and I'm not great, but I love painting and I'm good at it. I'm gonna say that I'm good at it. I don't like being like, oh, I'm great at painting, because I'm not, but you know, I'm good at it. Best moment being at my old secondary school. Gonna blur that one out. I'll be honest with you, there are a lot of bad moments, but there are also a lot of good moments, because I was very lucky to find a lot of good friends who I'm still friends with now, which is great, and also kind of obvious because I've only been in sixth form for about 6 months now. Favourite meme? Can I recreate it? I don't actually have the proper hat for it. And it's the old man and he's in the mountains. It's great! As for favourite meme, the Shaggy memes last month. No, oh my god, it's March. The Shaggy memes in January. What the funniest things I'd ever seen. I can't even go into how funny I found them. People were telling me, no, they're really unfunny. I was like, how could you think that's unfunny? That's peak humour. Garlic bread or spending time with your daughter, who you rarely see. The fuck? I don't actually have a child, but if I had to pick between child support and garlic bread, it would be garlic bread any day. Maybe we should have a name for ourselves, like the Low Gang, except we hate Logan Paul in this house. We're gonna be the Garlic Bread Gang. GBG for short, and we're gonna have a gang sign. Wow, have we run out of questions? There seem to be so many questions. Thank you for all your lovely questions. That was great. Thank you for interacting with me. Thank you so much for your continued support. Even when I haven't hit milestones, whether it's when I've just uploaded a new vlog or a new original song or a new cover, it means the absolute world to me. YouTube is stressful and it's frustrating, and sometimes you feel like you're going nowhere, but it's one of the best things I've ever done and I've loved every second of it. And what I love even more is when other people have loved it too. So thank you very, very much for all your help in getting me so far, and I hope we go further in the future. Let me know if I should do another Q&A. This was fun, this was a lot of fun. I was really hyped for this. I've been planning to do this for a long time. So I will say goodbye before I babble on any further. Thank you again. I will see you in the next video. Bye bye!